Well, the St. Louis Cardinals have completely flopped coming out the deadline, swept by the Arizona Diamondbacks, and now are set to go to Colorado. But is their season already done even before the play against the Rockies? We're going to discuss if there's any doubt in our minds at this point that the Cardinals should be selling at this year's trade deadline on this episode of Dealing the Cards. Welcome back into Dealing the Cards. Josh, joined by Sandy and Andrew, as always. We go live twice a week over here on the channel, and hopefully the second half will be fun to talk about. But if it looks anything like this weekend, I don't know how much baseball people are going to be watching at this point. Super uncompetitive series. Cardinals looked horrible. You rolled out Palante, Gray, and Michaelis and had three terrible starts from the three of them. Gray's is particularly disappointing because at this point, with how bad things are going, you need him to be the stopper. Again, it's not all on there. It's not all on Sonny Gray, of course, but you've got a team that's now lost 13 or last 15, I believe. They have a rotation ERA of over 7 during the month of July. The offense at this point ranks bottom 6 in most statistical categories over the last 30 days. Bullpen's been good, but at the same time, it's probably kept their floor a little bit higher than it should be, but it's not going to put you in the positive by any means if all you're doing right now is blocking down games at the end. But if you can't score enough runs and you're giving up 5 to 6 runs before the 5th inning, you got really no shot. And so I feel like we need to go to Sandy first here because we did put out a reel before the Arizona Diamondbacks series of Sandy saying, there's nothing that means this team can't go to win 90 games. And I don't know, Sandy, how are we feeling about that?
Well, I mean, look, this is what we do. We get new information and we change how we feel. Obviously, the Cardinals are playing some terrible baseball right now.
Sorry. Jeff just reported we have traded Andrew Wang to the New York Yankees for cash contributions and a depth aspect. So we are the Cards podcast is officially selling at the deadline. You're New York Yankee. So you've already shaved though, so you're good. You and Goldie, your teammates. So welcome to the Yankees.
Wow, I can't believe it. Well, Andrew's gone now, so unfortunate. He gets to go watch a winning team though. He's probably gonna
my gosh.
Oh.
I just got a call from my agent. Mo just traded me. I am officially an Oakland Athletic now. So
who's coming back in return?
Been traded away from the Deal on the Cards podcast. The Cardinals are officially selling at the deadline.
Well, it's just me here now. This is unfortunate. I did not expect to be the lone member, the lone holdover. We'll bring these guys back, but
I mean, I don't know why we did that.
That's how it feels right now, man. And
fire sale, do it.
That's probably what the Cardinals need to do at this point. I mean, there's new information, and the information is that the Cardinals are not playing competitive baseball after the break. It's a shame because I really thought going into the break it was exactly what the team needed at that point in time. It was a good chance to skip Michaelis and Fetty in the rotation if they'd wanted to. It was a good chance to get some rest for guys that are overworked at the back of your bullpen. It was a great chance for Burleson, Contreras, Arenado, guys that had played banged up, Wynn, who's barely had any days off. It was a great chance for those guys to reset, get right, feel better. And they've all come back and everyone sucks. So that's where you are as a team right now. I mean, there's almost nobody that's playing good baseball. You're getting Ivan Herrera back, and he's been fine. Like, he had a fine series, couple of hits, whatever. It doesn't matter. He can't win baseball games on his own, and that's where the Cardinals are. They've played terrible baseball. It's made even worse by the fact that coming out of the break, the Brewers continue to win. I mean, are they in first in the division now?
No, because the Cubs are the best record in baseball. Wait, does that mean the Cubs and the Brewers are tied for the best record in the National League now?
Yeah, I think it is, which is just the worst. As a Cardinals fan, that's just the worst. But these teams around you have won. It was a huge series against Arizona. And, if the Cardinals had swept Arizona, that would have really hurt them, really knocked them down in the wild card race. But that's not what happened. The Cardinals got swept. So, yeah, obviously coming into the break, I felt very differently about the team than I do today. I think that's how a lot of people should feel about the team.
Sandy got traded.
They're just not competitive right now. They're not competitive. It's terrible. I mean, you have 0 pitchers with an ERA under 4. You have 0 qualified hitters with an OPS over 800. There's no star power on the team. Yeah, I sell everybody. See ya.
Sell high
at this point. I don't care. Oh,
we're cutting payroll. We had over 300 in the live stream, only at 48 in attendance today. So based on the crowd size, we're going to have to scale back on payroll a little bit here today. But okay, we're done with the bits. I mean, I agree with everything you said, Sandy. I mean, I was again a little more ready to sell off some of the like relievers, and I mean, obviously we all want to get rid of Fetty, and if they could somehow salvage value, I'd be very surprised. But you might as well try, I guess. I mean, at this point, if you're going to be selling, then sure, roll off Fetty, whatever. See if he can get you a few starts to get you something in return. Sounds like McGreevy is going to be in the rotation anyways, and they're going to make it work until July 31st. Then whether it's a Fetty trade or DFA, he'll be in the rotation after that. He's set to start tomorrow. But yeah, I think there's just a combination of a lot of issues. Like I still like a lot of this team, and I still think for the most part, this young core has either I think there's more positives than negatives this year. There are some negatives, but even with those negatives, it's pretty much giving you some clarity where I'm pretty confident. I know Jordan Walker had 2 extra base hits this year. He should have had a triple as well. But clearly, you just look at him in the play right now, still don't trust him. He's looking at fastballs down the middle with 2 strikes because he's just totally guessing. And I mean, hopefully these doubles are a sign of some things to come for Walker at the plate. But you're getting clarity in these young guys. You now hopefully have a direction going to the deadline where you're not getting rid of prospects to add to the team and you're not holding onto things. We can talk about it. I don't know how much you get for Helsley or Maton or Matz. I definitely don't think you get anything for Fetty. Are there other guys that could consider dealing? But at least you're getting something. And then hopefully, if you've got 11 days here to kind of figure things out, Bloom hasn't just it's not like today he's like, oh, I wonder what I'd do if I control the roster. He's been thinking about this stuff. I would be really interested to see if he's potentially open to moving one of these guys like a Walker or a Newbar, or maybe there's someone that we don't expect like Brendan Donovan or Alec Burleson or people like that he's like, hey, I want to start molding the team into my image. And I see a cost-controlled starter out there that can help us in 2026 and beyond. And I'm going to go out and get that guy right now. I like that there's direction here, but yeah, the team needs to sell at this point. And I don't care what happens in this Rockies series. I'm sure they care what's going to happen in the Rockies series, but they shouldn't. I think this series should tell you everything you need to know. You can't survive with a rotation like this. Inserting Michael McGreevy over one of Eric Fetty and Miles Michaelis doesn't fix this, because you have an Andre Palante problem right now too. You will have the other guy in there too. Gray, I think, will be better down the stretch, but again, we don't know, and we also don't know what Liberatore is. And this offense is too inconsistent right now. Gorman's out, Newbar's been out of the lineup, and we'll see if he gets back in and what he looks like. Way too many question marks right now to not sell at this deadline. And so, yeah, they need to kick it in. They need to phone it in. Doesn't mean they won't play better in the second half. Could they have a similar type run? Maybe. I mean, we saw that with the Tigers, but no one should be expecting that. No one should be like, oh, the Cardinals sell Maton and Helsley and Fetty and all these guys, and whoa, they're gonna be so good. I highly doubt it. And there's a lot to watch down the second half. This isn't 2023.
Just sell Fetty, I think they'll improve, but
well, slightly. But there's too many other holes in the ship right now that it's just gonna have to turn around. Which again, we did see the offense play better, but this feels so much like 2023 the last few weeks, where the rotation is so bad that I don't even know how to I'm not making excuses for lineup. It's been bad. They have to be better. But there's also a part of me that's I don't know how to fully assess this lineup, because 2023, it was a top 7 lineup in all of baseball. It's not this right now, but 2023, they were top 7 in almost every statistical category going to the deadline. And the pitching was bad then. Then it got even worse in the second half when they got rid of Montgomery and Flaherty. And the offense imploded. And that's what it kind of feels like right now, where they're going up to it and they can't even trust Sonny Gray to keep them in the game right now, let alone when Michaelis goes to the mound, Fetty goes to the mound. How demoralizing is it when you go out there, top of the first inning, bottom of the first inning, you're like, oh, guess who's on the mound today? Eric Fetty. And guess who's on the mound tomorrow? Andre Plante. And guess who's on the mound the next day? Miles Michaelis. The mental toll that's taking on them, let alone they know if they don't perform right now, they're going to sell. And so I'm sure there's guys in that dugout who are pressing every at bat, knowing if they don't win this game, there's probably change coming. So it's hard to assess the young guys under that. And that's what the whole 162 game season is to get a full picture of it all. But again, I'm preaching in the choir here. The Cardinals need to sell. Andrew, is there anything you'd add to that at all? Or, I mean, I'm sure you're not in the other camp, but I'll leave the door open.
I mean, yeah, I just hope that, a Rockies sweep is very likely here. The White Sox swept the Rockies. Now Eric Fetty pitching, of course. So, I mean,
let's pump the brakes on a Rocky sweep is likely here. I don't know.
Maybe not likely, but it's probably what like.
I mean, you've got McGreevy going, you've got Fetty going, and you've got Palante going.
But it's the Rockies. I was looking at the Rockies' projected starters, and as bad as the Cardinals' rotation has been, each of their starters is just like leagues worse.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say the Cardinals shouldn't be favored in this series, but to say like it's almost like that it's likely they sweep. I don't know how they're playing right now. I can't say
like
that.
Look at the Rockies lineup. It's not good. Like the Rockies are going to lose the most games ever. Like the Cardinals have been playing really badly.
Hey, you know what the Rockies have that the Cardinals don't right now?
What?
A qualified hitter with an OPS over 800.
Doesn't Burleson have a qualified OPS over 800?
No, it's under 800, and I don't even know if he's a qualified hitter.
He is a
qualified hitter. I'm pretty sure it is. Is he over 800?
Yeah, he's
that changed today then after his homer.
Yeah. And also, I mean, you have Yvonne Herrera in the lineup, who's an 889.
Sure. But
also, the Rockies play every half the games at Coors. I would hope that they have like one guy that can be like okay, right? Like if we played all our games at Coors, like Yvonne Herrera would probably have a lot different numbers than he does right now. Anyway, my point is,
if he could stay healthy,
I'm going to start by sounding optimistic and saying that the Cardinals should probably sweep the Rockies and probably looking at what's going on, how bad the Rockies are. Like if they lose a single game to the Rockies, there should be no doubt in the front office's mind that they need to sell at the deadline. But even if they do sweep the Rockies, I don't think that should change anything because, again, the White Sox swept the Rockies and the Rockies have lost 75 games and they're probably going to be the worst team in baseball history. They're on pace to shatter the White Sox record that they set last year for just being awful. So I'm not, and they're also 12-37 at home. So that the Coors split is not even a thing this year. They're 12-38 on the road. And they're 11-60 against teams over 500. So if the Cardinals lose a single game, that's extremely embarrassing. Even the Fetty game.
Dude, Fetty's going to get lit up.
Speaking of Fetty, can I share this with you guys real quick? Since May 26th, him and Michaelis have combined for 18 starts. Their combined record is 1-10. So they've recorded one win between the two of them. Not the Cardinals record. Obviously not the Cardinals record, but they've recorded one win as a unit together in the last 18 starts combined. They've pitched 65 innings, which is just over 4 innings to start with a 6.72 ERA. 21 home runs in 18 starts, 28 walks, 110 hits.
I mean, I'll be honest. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good a hitter Eric Fetty's facing right now because he's not throwing anything in the zone. Fetty falls behind everybody. The 2 starts ago, I will stand on this. I think it's the worst pitching performance I've ever seen. Eric Fetty fell behind 2-0. To 7 of the first 9 batters he faced. You know how bad that is? When you're in the hole 2-0, you have to throw a strike or you're going to walk him. And he walked 5 guys in 1 1/3 inning against the Cubs.
Okay, but there's one thing is facing the Cubs. There's another thing is facing the Rockies.
Okay, I mean, it doesn't matter. If I was right now, if Eric Fetty was pitching to me, I wouldn't swing. He doesn't throw anything in the zone. He's terrible. He's the worst.
But he
is my least favorite pitcher I've ever watched.
Throwing the ball down the middle.
I don't know if he is. I don't know if he is right now. Fetty's first pitch strike percentage has to be one of the worst of all time, at least among the Cardinals, who emphasize that. That's a trait the Cardinals have emphasized over the last 10 years. It has to be one of the worst I've ever seen.
Either way,
he threw one first pitch strike against his first 9 hitters last time.
How many runs the Rockies have allowed this year?
So many. It's unbelievable.
606.
Yeah.
Already. That's the Cardinals might not even allow that much in the entire year.
Yeah, they probably won't. That's a historically bad number. They're generationally awful. But the Cardinals right now are non-competitive.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Cardinals need to sweep, and they should sweep, but I don't know if I would say it's likely they sweep because of how they're playing right now. And remember, it was only a few weeks ago where they got shut out by the Pirates in all 3 games.
The Pirates were on a heater. Okay, that doesn't count. The Rockies
but right after that, the Pirates got shut out in a series.
Yeah,
so I don't.
It's the Pittsburgh Pirates. I don't care who it is. I know they have some good starters, but also the Cardinals played themselves out of those games too. Pop Warner, one of the worst sends I've ever seen, caused us to lose one of those games.
Yeah,
and the Cardinals pitching in that series, at least in 2 of the games, was pretty good. They probably should have won that series.
I don't know the numbers on this, but I would guess that the Rockies have been swept more times than they have been.
Yeah, that might be true. I mean, they're the worst team I've ever watched, like bar none, hands down. I'm just saying right now, it doesn't matter who's pitching. Like Jordan Walker, his dad could be throwing to him in the home run derby right now, and
He
he would
had
watch
2
balls
hits
down the
today.
middle.
It's been fine.
It's not
been
fine.
okay. It's been
He's
better
gonna-
than it was before.
Is the OPS above 500 now?
Yeah, it is.
Thank goodness.
Is it?
It might
Yeah,
not
it's
be.
like 550.
Okay, because I know at one point it was
It's 576
472.
OPS now.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
I
you
mean,
said
it's
about
it's not
500. I think you said
good,
about
but I'm
600.
saying,
Sorry.
It's
like,
horrendous.
I understand that this team has been playing terribly, but I also don't understand. I don't think you guys understand how bad the Rockies are.
No, I know the Rockies are bad. I'm just saying I don't know if you understand how poorly the Cardinals are playing right now.
I'm not at all arguing that the Rockies are a horrible team. I'm just not going to go in and say they're likely to sweep the Rockies with how they're playing right now. But I get what you mean. They should do it. And on paper, yes, they are the better team. But like this team is just so Jekyll and Hyde where, yeah, they actually could go out and just put up 12 runs on the Rockies every game. And guess what? Wouldn't be shocked because that's the story of the season is they go all over the place. But I think, again, the point of why we're talking about selling, and you made this point already, Andrew, like there's people in the chat being like, Andrew, like, why do you care about the series so much? You're making a good point about it, but you've even already said it. Like, it doesn't matter if they beat the Rockies. They should sell. Like this, to them, I think to the front office, if they swept the Rockies, they'd probably be like, oh, okay, like let's keep seeing what happens. We don't need to make a decision yet. No, today should have been the day. I mean, well, yesterday, in my opinion, was the day. But today, like you really should be like, okay, we are, as a front office, moving into sell mode. We are making it known to teams. Come give us calls on Ryan Helsley, Phil Maton, Steven Matz, Eric Fetty, please. They should just burn all of his tape. They should call MLB and be like, hey, can you burn all footage and recordings of his 2025 season? Act like he's been in ice the whole time and be like, hey, you want 2024 Fetty? Anyone want that guy?
No, the reason I'm fixated on the Rockies series is that I am worried that they will sweep the Rockies and that the front office will see that and be like, hey, that's a reason to not go into sell mode. Right?
Totally.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
That's why I'm fixated on this, and that's why I'm worried that, like, in the situation that they end up sweeping the Rockies, which I feel like is like a very likely possibility, they will just be like, hey, we're going to see what we have for the next, and then if they play like 500 ball against the Padres and the Marlins, they're going to be like, well, we're only 2.5 games out of the wild card. Let's, like, please don't.
This is what Mo should be saying. It's like, hey, if you want an LCS MVP, come get our player.
Do you know what Tommy Edmonds' numbers are this year? The Dodgers have made
so
a
bad
mistake.
Edmonds been awful.
That should be the next story, right, Andrew? For your Getty
Cardinals
images.
won the Fetty trade. The White Sox won the Fetty.
No, both
trade?
teams have lost.
The White Sox won. The White Sox won.
Oh yeah, sorry, the White Sox won the trade. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, good for them. Good for them.
Well, except the Cardinals didn't give the White Sox anything. The Cardinals gave up nothing for nothing.
Well, also, like we can't if Tommy Edman was an important part of a World Series winning team, so I don't think there's a way to say they lost that. Anyways, I get where we're going at with it. So okay, I think we can all agree.
And now it looks bad, but whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, dude, he's locked in for so long.
Just to put any kind of put a bow in it before we kind of not wrap up and move the conversation forward beyond just kind of lamenting where they're at right now. Because I do want to ask a specific question about like if they're sellers, what does this mean for the season? But is there anything they can do? I just want to make sure that none of us hold anything back. Is there anything they can do between now and July 31st? Like if they win every game between now and July 31st, does that convince you, or do you doesn't matter?
Yeah, that's a lot of games. That's also not
I'm just saying okay,
yeah, sure.
Fine. Let me say something realistic. Like if they go 4 games over 500, 5 games over 500, their next 11 games.
Yeah.
So
sure.
Does that convince you that they should still be in it? Because I'm not at this point. I'm saying you sell now because there's too many potential holes in this team that they can have a good run. Yes, we've seen that all year, but it's not worth investing in the team right now. It's just not.
I mean,
I wonder how aggressively they would buy if it's like we're going to call it McGreevy and we're going to get rid of Fetty and Michaelis and then we're going to add another starter, which is not going to happen. Then yeah, I guess sure. But if they're going to do that and then like trade for Tyler Anderson, I'm going to be like, absolutely not. Do not.
Yeah, well, I mean. That's exactly it. Like if the Cardinals, it also depends how teams around them play. Like if San Francisco went on a big slide between now and then, and like San Diego, if the Cardinals swept San Diego or something, which I'm not saying it's going to happen, I don't think it will, and the Cardinals went like 9-2 between now and then, yeah, sure. I'd be like, hey, if they're within a game or two of that spot, whatever, you feel like things are clicking, and yeah, I think the roster does get better by just getting rid of 2 people. Like the Cardinals are in the unique position of where you're a team that's sort of in it and upgrading is actually really easy. for the most part, these teams at the deadline, upgrading is hard. You have to actually go get something to upgrade. All the Cardinals have to do is kick something off of this sinking ship. Like all they have to do is just bail to get better. I'm not saying it makes them good enough, but you do get better. Like they're in the unique position of having so much dead weight that simply cutting it off makes you better. Not a lot of teams can say that.
Well, I guess so. Then cutting off, so like you could cut off Fetty and Michaelis. What other dead weight? Because like the lineup, I don't know what you cut off. Or
I don't know what you
cut off out. And then also like you still, even with that point, have the Palante problem. You don't know what Liberatore and Gray are. And part of the reason this team was so successful in the first half when it was is because you did have Gray and Liberatore pitching like 1, 2, or 3 starters. Like you debate whatever they were.
ERA.
Yeah, but I remember how he started the year, though. He started the year really rough. Then he locked in for a little bit, and now it's been rough again. And so, like, that's where I'm like, sure, they can go on a really nice week and a half stretch here, but I just can't get over the fact that they're probably going to fall back down to earth again. And then they might go. I mean, I'm not saying from here on out the rest of the season, this club is not going to play good baseball. I'm fully confident they're going to have good weeks still. I don't think this is going to be a dumpster fire to watch, even if they sell.
Yeah.
I just don't think they've done enough to me to say you jump off the plan, which was to sell high on these things. They were hoping to be in contention, but I don't think hoping to be in contention means on July 31st, you're still like, well, we have a 10% chance that if everything breaks right,
no.
Which even if they win, even if they only lose 4 games or 3 games between now and the deadline, I still think that's what it looks like. I don't think there's a world where we're like feeling really good about their chances on July 31st, no matter what happens. So to me, I get what you're saying, but to me,
the eye test is going to matter.
It is done. Doesn't matter to me.
I mean, I think if they were good enough and other teams were bad enough between now and then, you could talk me into it. Like the eye test is important. If Lars Nootbaar looks like himself, if Lars Nootbaar took a bunch of walks and slugged a little bit between now and then, like, sure, you could convince me. Jordan Walker is dead weight. You can cut him out of the lineup right now. Sorry, back to AAA. No, Jordan Walker can go to the complex league right now and rework everything. Like there is dead weight in the lineup too. You can get rid of him. You could make a point to catch Pozo more often than Pajes or something between now and then and change something. Like there are things they could do to get better offensively. I think you get worse defensively. And again, I don't know. I've said this before. I don't know if Pozo's numbers keep up, if he's a regular. I don't know what that even looks like because there's a reason this guy wasn't on a team 5 months ago. I'm a big fan of the story. I really like him and I really like what he's done for the club. So I think there are things that could happen between now and then. Do I think they're likely? Absolutely not. Like I think it's more likely than not that between now and the deadline, we see the Cardinals look half decent in Colorado. I'm not predicting a sweep. I'm predicting 2-1. I'm hoping for 2-1 right now. And I think that it's more than likely they get shellacked by San Diego. We just saw how it looked against Arizona, and San Diego is potentially a more talented team than the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
I don't know how that looks.
They're at San Diego, right? They're not home for that, right?
I believe they're on the road.
No, they're back home for that, but then they have like 3 more in San Diego right after the deadline because they go to San Diego and they go to LA, and it's like, wow.
Yeah. So I mean, you got tough, really tough schedule. It just
been awful.
Think it's going to happen.
Like I don't know.
I just feel like
happen for them.
if they even just hold the deadline and do nothing, I feel like we're going to be on August 9th. It's going to be after the San Diego.
It's going to be a huge mistake.
And it's going to feel like 2024 again, which again, I'll admit, like we thought, okay, this is kind of fun. They made the Fetty Edmund trade. They brought in Pham, go for it. And it flopped. And that sucks. But like learn from your mistakes of last year. We're like, I got the thought process for them is we're going to try and turn it around, patch it together. And it was kind of working and they made it happen. But like we saw, like now they're back in the same boat again this year. And I feel like Sandy, a counterpoint to make to what you said last time is like, hey, like we don't know if they'll make the playoffs next year and if they'll have even a better shot. And I'm like, I agree. But one path you can go toward upping those chances is by cashing in chips and pushing them toward the future. Because like next year in 2027, we might be excited about what Tekoa Roby brings. And that's because they pushed in their chips in 2023 and they dealt Jordan Montgomery. Again, they don't have a Jordan Montgomery to deal, but apparently the league thinks Ryan Helsley's worth more than I do. I think Phil Maton can get you something. Tons of teams want Steven Matz. That's how you at least start to help break this cycle is by calling it how it is and being like, hey, we're not it. And we're going to cash in our chips and we're going to try and figure out next year. And we also have the fact that this offseason is going to be run behind Bloom. We're not just going into a new same offseason. It's like, well, we know what Mo will do. I think this is gonna be the most exciting offseason, or at least the most active offseason we've seen in a while from this Cardinals team, because they're gonna be making trades to clear log jams. They're gonna be picking who their players are. They're gonna be going out and acquiring different types of players than they have before. It's like what we saw in this draft, where it's like, whoa, they did that. I'm surprised by that. It's like, well, because there's new people in charge for the first time in 20 years. Like, that's a significant thing. And so I want to set up Hein Bloom in the best way possible and see what happens. And you know what? I know that will be a bad message to send the clubhouse, but I think that's where it's on Ollie and his staff to say, hey, you can, like, team, we can look at this as the front office doesn't believe in us. They're waving a white flag and we are not going to make the playoffs now. Or, hey, you look around the room, all you young guys, you guys want to be part of this core moving forward, go prove it in the second half. Go prove them wrong. You've got all the opportunities now. Gorman, you have more playing time because we moved someone. Or McGreevy, you're in the rotation now. We've cleared the path for you young guys. Go run with those chances. You got to lean into that kind of messaging. But we'll see what happens with all that. So
I mean, like, if somebody hits the IL in September, do you call up JJ to do the Mason Wynn experience, 2023 Mason Wynn experience? And if he's terrible, whatever, you don't lose that service time, and then you have him ready for next season, and you might have a star. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think that's a viable option now. I was not in favor of that, but now that I'm seeing what Weatherholt is doing in AAA, I was like, it's a little bit hard to be like, if he keeps this up, to just keep him down there. That seems not great. Like Jordan Walker, you rushed. He was in AA and you rushed him.
Yeah,
but like if JJ gets a few months in AAA and he's still playing like he is right now, I don't really have an issue with it. But if you do that experience, selling also allows you to do that, where you probably wouldn't do that if you were in contention, and you get him that experience for free. And next year he might be like, even if he's as good as like a Mason Wynn was last year, I think he'll be better than that.
Well, even like Mason Wynn was like the 50th prospect in all of baseball when he's called up, and like people like I understand like there is a way to ruin JJ Weatherholt still, and just because he's producing right now in AAA doesn't necessarily mean he's ready. I'm not the expert on that. But at the same time, like, I don't think people give enough credit to the fact that the Cardinals have not had a player like JJ Weatherholt in their system since JD Drew. Like, these Dylan Carlsons and Jordan Walkers were drafted toward the end of the first round. They were not high-end talents. They weren't viewed as, oh, this potential star when they're drafted. They started getting it going at the lower levels, and the traits were interesting. Scouts thought these guys could be something. Then they started producing. Then they got the rankings. JJ Weatherholt entered the Cardinal system as a top 25 prospect in all of baseball and just has raked ever since. And so that's where I'm like, I feel pretty good about bringing him up in September to get his feet wet, and then knowing that in 2026, like, you might have something real here. It doesn't mean JJ Weatherholt's going to be an MVP or multi-time all-star, but I feel like the floor is better with him than Dylan Carlson, Jordan Walker, and there's a ceiling there. So I would love to see him in September at this rate, assuming he continues what he's doing. And he's a guy that he's potentially so special for this Cardinals team that, sorry, Nolan Gorman, sorry, Nato, sorry, Nootbaar, like, you guys are going to play less because we got to get JJ's feet wet, especially Nato. Like, this offseason, even if teams don't want him, in my opinion, the Cardinals ownership is just going to have to pony up and eat as much of the contract as they have to move him, because especially if you're going to keep all the other young bats around, they got to make space somehow. And clearly Nato's not a part of your future. And so it sucks that you're going to have to pay him to play elsewhere. But at some point, like, I know the Dodgers probably don't want him right now, but if the Dodgers can get him at $7 million a year or $10 million a year, I think it's a different story. And like, are the DeWitts going to want to eat that much money? Probably not. But they did have Dexter Fowler for 1 year where they basically ate the entire contract. They did have Mike Leake not that long ago, and they ate like 2 or 3 years of the deal. So it's not impossible. It's different when it's Nato and a future Hall of Famer, but clearly he's blocking time for, and it doesn't mean Gorman's going to be awesome, but like, you need to see him every day to figure that out. Clearly, he's on the IL right now. I get it. But like, Nolan Arenado is 10% below league average at the plate. The defense is good, but it's not good enough to overcome that, especially when you're paying him over $30 million a year right now. Like, they just got to start clearing this logjam and putting the young players in the positions to win. But
the logjam, though, I think when people use that term, they're talking about players that we're not talking about. You know what I mean by that? Like, people talk about the logjam, but you're talking about a Thomas Saggese or like Cesar Prieto, and they're like, we have all these great prospects. It's like, there is a logjam, but I don't think it's nearly the problem people have made it out to be. Like you can get rid of Arenado. Yeah, you can. Someone was willing to take him on last year. He didn't waive his no trade clause. I'm sure that you can get more creative, eat more
Paredes
money,
just
and
got
get
hurt
more
for
offers.
Houston.
Well, so okay, but like if JJ comes up and everyone's healthy, then you have you have three guys have to sit at a time right now because you can only put two of them in the corners. Yvonne's not a catcher anymore, so he's DH. And so
Yeah,
if
that
you have
stinks.
Newton left and Burleson in right, and you have Nato at third, Wynn at short, and Donnie at second, then you've got Newbar not playing, you've got Gorman not playing, and you've got JJ not playing. So I think that is a logjam.
Here's the question though: like, is Newbar part of your long-term future anymore?
To me, probably not. But you have to, like, if he's on the roster, you can't sit him on the bench and not play him consistently because then you're ruining that trade value. And so
that's true.
Like, I just think you got to start like between, unless they do at the deadline, then they're kind of stuck. And the off seasons when they really got to declutter this a little bit. But that's just what I'm saying is like at this deadline, but especially in the off season, there is log jams at the major league level. And then to be fair, like you do need to see what, like Sajasi is a bench piece to me, and maybe Nathan Church probably too. But like those are pieces that are moving their way up nearish, mid-ish future, and have maybe Baez up there and guys like that.
Right,
but yeah, I mean he's got like an over 1,000 OPS and 30 games at AAA. Again, he could be terrible at the major league level.
It's shocking to me what he's doing right now. I will say this is shocking to me. I did not see it coming. Church hasn't hit a lick as a prospect until right now, and all of a sudden he's unbelievable. So it's great to see. It's exactly what you want to see from a guy. Like maybe he figured something out. Maybe they reworked something that we don't know about. Like we're not sitting in on those meetings. Good for him. But I will say, like, I know people think that Church is like the solution to a lot of these problems. I just don't believe it at this point. I am more skeptical about the Cardinals system than I was 5 years ago. I don't know how many we can count. So many guys that we've seen come up with big expectations. And even if they produce for a little bit, like Jordan Walker, 116 WRC plus as a rookie at age 20. That's a big deal. Walker now has been unusable for the last 2 years, you know? Yeah. And even when he was doing that on offense, the defense was so bad. And you never knew if that offense was going to stick because the launch angle and the attack angle was terrible. So there were issues with that. Dylan Carlson, like there were just so many big time flops. Yeah. The Cardinals have not proven to me that they can make things, you know, I don't know. So I don't know if I believe in Church. Sajasi produced big time at AA and AAA before his call up.
But at the same time, it's a new player development staff though. So I feel like that is part of this whole, like, I don't know what they did with Nathan Church at this point. So I think we're moving into the question I wanted to ask you guys. I think we could talk about for a while. So let's thank a couple of our sponsors real quick. As always, the presenting sponsor of the Deal on the Cards podcast is 314 Sports Cards and Collectibles. They're located at 9640 Olive Boulevard in Olivet. They're open 10 to 5 Monday through Fridays and 10 to 4 on Saturdays and Sundays. They buy, sell, and trade all sports cards and Pokemon cards. They have the newest selections of packs, boxes, and single cards and of players and stars from around the league. Make sure you go check them out. You can find really cool cards like that Mason Wynn 2-way USA card before. I think that's before he's even drafted. Signed too. So he's got his like little
it's from before he was 15.
That's crazy. So you can find sweet cards like that. You can go buy boxes. They've got other kinds of merch in there too, or memorabilia in there. We love 314. We know many of you shop there already, so make sure you go check them out. We also want to tell you about our other sponsor, and that's Underdog Sports. The Deal on the Cards podcast is proud to be partnered with Underdog Sports, our favorite place to play fantasy games. You're now eligible to play in Illinois, Missouri, Indiana, and 37 other U.S. states. You got to check out Pick'em. It's so easy to play. You just pick 2 to 8 stats of your favorite players and choose whether they'll go higher or lower. You can win 20 times your money by going 5 for 5. If that sounds like fun, sign up with our promo code CARDS to claim your first free pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We can't wait to see your entries. Hey, we got Eric Fetty in Colorado this week, so you can go and jump on Underdog for your first ever time playing. Use our promo code CARDS. You can go over higher on runs or walks. Walks typically works out pretty well for Fetty.
Always works.
So make sure you go try that because it's free money basically. I want to ask you guys, let's just say it maybe it's not as bad as this Arizona series is, but it's a pretty bad stretch between now and July 31st. They sell at the deadline. Is this season a failure? Is this season a major disappointment if we've seen what we've seen from this club so far and we head toward the deadline and they're selling again? They're going to miss the playoffs for the 3rd straight year. Is this season a failure? Is this season a disappointment to you, Sandy? Or is there more to it than just this?
I'll say it's a disappointment and a failure for probably two big reasons. The first is that we saw this team produce and we saw what they could do, and then the wheels have fallen off, and that stinks. Like there's no way to sugarcoat that. I'm disappointed as a fan. Like, we come on here because we're fans of this team. That's the bottom line. We watch the games because we're fans. We enjoy the team. And when the Cardinals are 9 games above 500, holding down a playoff spot, contending in a tough division with the Cubs and Brewers clubs that are really good, and the Cardinals were ahead of the Brewers for a long time, and they were on the Cubs' tail in late June. Like, it's disappointing to get where we are now in such a short amount of time. They have just played themselves out of this. I also think it's terrible because the goal of coming into this year is to answer questions. And I still don't know if you know what Gorman is. You have no idea what McGreevy is right now. You still haven't seen anything from him. And you've ended up with more questions. Now you have to ask, what is Nootbaar? What is Scott? I mean, it's a disappointment because Lars Nootbaar, this is the biggest thing for me. And I've come across this in the last few days. Lars Nootbaar, I thought, was a multi-year solution for you. I thought, yeah, the Cardinals should extend this guy. He's a StatCast merchant. You know, you like what you see from him. He slugs a little bit. He draws a lot of walks. He makes pitchers work. He's a tough out. Plays good defense. Can spell you in center field. And I don't know if he's part of your long-term future. It has been so bad with him at the plate for the last, I don't know, 2.5 months now. I mean, he was great in April, okay in May, bad in June, and he's been worse in July. And you're at a point now where I have no idea if he's part of your long-term future, and he doesn't have a lot of value. I'm sorry, I don't think Lars Nootbaar has a lot of value right now. When you see the numbers he's put up have been awful lately. I don't know what he's
still on the season. He's 4% above league average. Like, I think we overstate how bad he's been.
Yeah, but I don't know what he gets you at this point. It's not like there's 5 years of control with this guy.
I mean, there's 2 though. Like, yeah. I think he's more valuable than people give it credit for, but maybe I could be wrong on that. I just think he's a valuable piece still.
I think he's valuable, but I don't know if he's part of your long-term core anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't know what you have in Victor Scott. Like, I thought giving him that extra year in the minors was good. It was going to season him a little bit, get him ready. And I liked what we saw from him at the end of the year last year. And the beginning of the year this year was really encouraging. And now he's got a 640 OPS. And he hasn't hit it all in the last 2 months. Like, that's a huge disappointment too. So I think that you've gotten some answers that are like, maybe this guy's not part of your core moving forward. But again, you're right where you were last year, where you have a couple guys that are in your core and you have a couple guys that aren't, a ton of spots to fill. And on the pitching side, it's arguably even worse. Like, you found out Libby is a viable starter. That's a big thing. But now, last year at this point in time, you felt like, hey, Palante's our guy. Look at Palante this year. It's been terrible. I have no idea if they let him be a starter again next year. Gray's only getting older, and he's had his worst. Like, this year's been a lot worse than last year. He's got an ERA over 4 now. So I don't know. I don't know about that. He might have. Jazz was terrible. That was hilarious. But I just, it's disappointing. And it's disappointing when you're looking at a guy like Nootbaar and you're thinking he might bring more consistency. Because who's the last, like, consistent year-over-year good outfielder the Cardinals have had? I feel like you got to go back to Matt Holliday. Is there anybody since then that's been like a 5-year starter for them?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you go back to Holliday, really. I mean, Bader was for 3-4 years, maybe. So,
but even Bader, there were always questions about whether he was actually starting caliber among the fan base. And I think those were overblown. I think Bader was a valuable player when he was here.
I think Donovan's going to be an outfielder for the most part starting next year.
And that's fine. I like Donovan
or it could be Vaughn. It could be JJ.
But like, where's Donovan going to play if you have JJ up and Wynn at short? And
how many outfields of the future have we had?
Well, yeah.
How many times have we assembled? Like, remember when it was Grichuk, Piscotty, and Pham? And they were like, guys, this is it. And then it was Carlson, Bader, and O'Neill. And they were like, guys, we've got it. And then it was Nootbaar, Walker, and Scott. And they were like, okay, I promise this is the outfield of the future. I mean, come on. That's a third iteration of this outfield of the future.
I think Scott is fine. Scott is not the issue.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
right. Like
he's at 85 to,
it's like kind of what we expected. Right. Like, I think if you expected anything more than that out of Victor Scott this year, that's a little bit disingenuous because he was just so bad last year. And like Siani would be like so much worse. And they were thinking about starting him in center this year. And it's like, that's not what you want. And Well, I mean, maybe you want that over Newbar, but
Yeah, I mean, at the end of this year, Scott's gonna have barely over a year of service time too, and I mean, right now he's on pace to be 15% below league average, a great defender, and he's probably gonna swipe close to 40 bags this year. Like, again, like he's not a star, but like if you project that out, and again, if there's some tangible improvement, then like if he becomes a league average bat who's stealing 50 to 60 bags a year and playing Gold Glove defense in center field, that's an awesome player in your lineup. You just also have to have good bats in there, but I think like someone like Scott or even Mason Wynn this year, where it's like, yes, he hasn't taken the step forward, but I'll get into my like, I don't think this season's a failure as of right now. There's ways that the second half could go that unravels more, but like today, I feel like you have information on some guys where Ivan Herrera is one of the best bats in baseball when he's healthy. And so like there needs to be more of a sample size. I for sure agree with that, but like that's been a success story. He needs to find a position, but like at least you've got DH, might be corner outfield. Brendan Donovan is an all-star. That's awesome. Alec Burleson has emerged in that Newbar role, in my opinion, where it's like outside the fact that he's not going to be like Newbar was an above average defender, good defender in the corner outfield, while like Burleson's more average in the corner outfield at best.
Passable.
I think it's better than passable even. Like I think he's really made strides. I don't think he's ever going to get better than what it is right now, and he can't play center field. Like otherwise, like the bat's been better than what you really were hope. I mean, it's what you hoped Newbar would be, honestly. And so like that, I think you've got that. Mason Wynn like hasn't done the sophomore slump or regressed like Jordan Walker has or Dylan Carlson has in years past or these other young guys has. And he's still great shortstop defender, which is a valuable player. It's like I feel like he got good stuff on that. Victor Scott's holding his own, and I don't think he's like riding in pen. He's your center fielder for 4 years, but like if he's your center fielder, you feel fine about that. Nolan Gorman, again, we need to see more. And oh gosh, if this back thing becomes a thing, then you will end up being a failure and incomplete for him this year because you won't know what he is. But over the summer, he had been looking better at the plate. Matthew Liberatore, I don't know what he is as a starter, but I know he's a starter now, and that's really interesting to me. And
yeah, I mean, we were going into this season with Matthew Liberatore being like, oh, this is never going to work.
Yeah,
and then it worked. So,
and then like JJ Weatherholt looks like an actual star coming too, which again you need to see that. But like I think there's positive things. Yes, there's the negative with Jordan Walker,
and the system development's fine. Like I'm not even talking about the strides guys the minors have taken. Like I'm not saying.
I only threw one name out there for Jay. Like JJ's the one where it's like you got the and also you do have Liam Doyle full to you, which I think is a really important development. But like really at the major league level, the Walker's the real major failure to me. And then Newbar, it's disappointing, but I think it's overstated on our end because we watch it all the time and because he's always been that polarizing player where people love him or hate him. So it's even more polarizing with Newbar now. But I feel very confident there are teams around baseball who would love to get their hands on Lars Newbar. He'd be an upgrade in their outfield, and they think he can produce like he has. We're going into this year, he was an 18% above league average player for his career. Yeah. That was either in line or better than Brendan Donovan in his career. Like that's a valuable player.
It was better.
And so I don't think a couple rough months is going to make teams go, whatever. Actually, if anything, they're like, well, it's same old Cardinals ruining their outfielders. We'll take him and have him be an all-star for us. And honestly, if that's the guy you have to move on from, at least you're not cutting bait with Dylan Carlson and getting Sean Armstrong. You're using Lars Newbar to get you prospects for your system or to package him with other stuff to go get a controllable young arm. Walker is a major issue to me, but like I don't know. I had like a stroke there. I was like, what was going on? Where and like even with your red, like rose-colored Cardinals glasses on, none of this was going to go exactly according to plan.
Of course.
And so, like honestly, like if right now Walker's the main failure and maybe Gorman, it's frustrating because they're the poster childs of runway. But I guess honestly, if other people figured it out, then great. Like I don't care if it's Alec Burleson or Jordan Walker. If Alec Burleson produces what I wanted from Jordan Walker, then sweet, someone is doing it.
But Alec Burleson, like, yeah, I love the way he's.
Sandy just doesn't like Alec Burleson, I think.
That's not true. That's not true at all. I'm happy to see Alec Burleson succeed, but I want to point out, look, guy's got 300 plate appearances and he's a 1.4 win player. He's on pace to be a 2.8 win player over like a 600 plate appearance full season. That's a good player. But like, is that a guy that you're comfortable starting every day? And is that a guy that makes you better? Like the thing is, the Cardinals need a real supporting cast and they need to acquire a star, which is a whole other thing.
See, that's why I can't look at the season as disappointment. Because you talked earlier about we saw what they could do, but we saw what this team could do without a star. And like, yes, players like these guys can perform at high levels and carry teams for stretches, but there's a reason why they're not superstars, because they can't do it for a full year. You can't build a lineup around them. I think Ivan Herrera could be that, but he just has been injured. And so, it could be that. But at least
if Ivan Herrera is a star, this season's a huge success, and I'll happily say that next year. But then they need a star.
But even if he's if he's not, yes, I do think it's tempered some. But even if he's just not a star, but he's as close as you can get without being one, what you know is you have a lot of pieces around that all you need to start doing is the stars, which is hard to find. But there's also teams like the Angels who always had the stars, but they couldn't figure out how to field a team around them. So that both are difficult. I would argue finding the stars is probably more difficult for St. Louis specifically, because they're not going to pay up for it and developing it. Like maybe you've got one coming in JJ. And so again, this is projecting, but like if JJ and Ivan are even low end stars, again, that's a really good start here. And you've got to figure out the pitching. There's a lot of question marks. But again, there were so many question marks coming into the year that I think this has mostly been a positive move in the right direction, especially when you start to look at the minor league levels. You start to look at how they drafted. Those are the things that are actually going to turn this around long term. I feel pretty good about how the season's gone, even if they have to sell at the deadline. It just sucks that they gave us glimpses of what it could be, but that makes me think, hey, you add to this team and you get those things you actually need. You've got the pieces around to make it happen. The worst case scenario where this would be a failure right now is if they're selling at the deadline because, well, Gray's been good and Contreras has been good and Fetty's been good and Michaels has been good, but Walker hasn't, Ivan hasn't, Nootbaar hasn't, Donovan hasn't. Like, it's the young guys that are mostly actually carrying the load, and the veterans have been supplementing. Like, Contreras has been good, but he's not carried them. Donovan's been fine, but he's not been that good. Like, yes, Maton and Helsley, Maton's been really good and Helsley's been fine, but like they aren't the reason you're winning. Like, Sonny Gray's been pretty good, but it's not like he's carrying it. Like, the veterans are supplementing this young core right now, but I'd argue it's the young core carrying the team. That to me is a positive revelation. And again, they're not like 15 games below 500 selling. They're at a point where it's like, hey, they've overachieved. And it's like, good, the young core overachieved. That should be celebrated. I have a hard time calling it a failure. I see where you're going with it, but and again, 2 months from now, I could flip the script because there's 2 months for these young players to impress us or fail us. But right now, I feel pretty good about it.
We saw Alec Burleson get hot in the middle of last year and then really tail off down the stretch. And like, if you look at the way Mason Wynn has trended this season, started off really strong, ran out of steam. We don't know what these guys' numbers are going to look like at the end of the year. Yep. I know I'm jaded, I'm pessimistic, I'm frustrated right now. But yeah, I know it's weird. I fully believe that these guys, for the most part, the numbers will look worse at the end of the year. I think that's an issue. Like, I'm looking at the way things are trending. Okay. Victor Scott has a sub 600 OPS over the last 2 months. Like, is that who Victor Scott is? Is he the sub 600 OPS hitter that we saw last year and this year? Or is he the guy we saw at the beginning of the year, who at one point was rocking like a 775 in May?
Well, but also, I think we shouldn't have been like that. Even that, when we knew that wasn't it. So that's where I feel like this isn't super fair to them, is that you're kind of critiquing for stuff that we knew was going to happen. Maybe it's going a little bit worse than we thought it would, but we knew those things were going to happen.
I mean, Mason Wynn, is he even a league average hitter right now?
He's above league average on the season.
WRC plus.
Okay, yeah, I see 99 OPS plus here.
Again, I thought he was going to be slightly below league average this year, because usually you see a little bit of a sophomore slump, and like he's and again, part of this too is like when there isn't stars that carry the load around, then we start putting more expectations and pressure on some of these guys, where Mason Wynn isn't a middle of the order bat, and right now in his career, he's definitely not a leadoff guy either. He should be batting 6, 7, 8, 9 in the lineup, but the Cardinals have to put him higher because they don't have other options sometimes, or they refuse to go with the other options. And so I think some of this again is that we're staring at it and we're wanting more because someone has to do it, but these aren't the guys who are supposed to do it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if the Cardinals are going to get better, like, they have to go outside the system, because JJ could be really good, but like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to put star expectations on JJ anymore. Like, we've put star expectations on enough Cardinals prospects. We put them on Walker. We put them on Carlson. A lot of people put them on Gorman. People put them on Cardinals pitchers all through the 2010s, whether it was Flaherty or Walker or Shelby Miller for a lot of people. Like Alex Reyes, we've put star expectations on enough prospects. I'm not going to do it anymore. I think JJ could be really good, but like, yeah, there's a good chance that really good for JJ Weatherhole. And this is a really good player, is a guy that is a potential 5-4 player at his best, but he gets to that value by doing a lot of things right, gets that value by being a 120, 125 WRC plus hitter. But that's not the star the Cardinals need. And they're not going to get better without adding that. Like, the Cardinals have to go outside.
Who's the star on the 2015 Cardinals?
That team did so many things right, and the pitching was fantastic. They had a sub-3 ERA on the season. Like the star was the rotation and the bullpen. They did like everything right.
Yeah, but also again, no one's arguing with you that they don't need to go get stars, but like I don't think that makes what we've seen from these guys less impressive because most of these guys, except Jordan Walker and Nolan Gorman, well, more so Jordan Walker, we thought had the upside to potentially be like a star, but even Newt Bar, like we didn't think he'd be a superstar. Like again, we thought 120s WRC plus is like that. Like man, he's having a really good year right now. They've always need to go supplement at that star, and that's going to be on Heimblum to figure that out. But where this became a mess is that if he couldn't even say we've got the supplemental pieces around it, then it's like, well, heck, going star hunting, we got nothing right now. So we really got to tear this down. I feel like there's
how many of the guys on the team right now do you feel like can be supplemental pieces on a winning team?
Plenty of them.
Herrera for sure, Donovan for sure, probably Burleson, Wynn. But like you still got a lot of holes you got to fill in because I don't know.
I'm gonna bake in JJ as a supplemental piece at least.
Okay,
I feel like that's
fair.
fine.
That's fair.
And like that's most of your lineup right there. It could be supplemental pieces, and most teams have 2 stars. Like, sorry, not most teams. Most really good teams have 2 stars, maybe 3 stars. Like the Cardinals are not going to defend like the Dodgers. So like, I think
the Dodgers don't even have 3 stars anymore. They have like 1.5 stars.
Okay, Freddie Freeman and Shohei Ohtani are definitely both stars.
But Mookie Betts has been horrible this year.
Will Smith, though.
Yeah, Will Smith is a star. Mookie Betts has been bad, but also like
the Dodgers can afford to have all those guys and have some of them have a down year. With like a team like the Cardinals in a market like this, like if Pujols had a terrible year, like they were going to be in trouble. So
what I'm saying is like I was looking at our lineup the other day, and like before Gorman got scratched and put on the IL. And the top 7 were Donovan, Herrera, Burleson, Contreras, Gorman, Arenado, and Wynn. And that's like those are all guys I would be comfortable in with like taking an at bat. Like, would I be like, oh, they're gonna like for sure hit a homer or like drive in the run? Not necessarily.
Scheduled pop out for Arenado.
But like Arenado, like is probably the guy that I'm least comfortable in. But like. Yeah, and when you look at the Dodgers right now, their lineup just does not look good. But anyway, it will get better, obviously. But and then Pajas and Scott, 8 and 9. Pajas, I don't know.
Scott, I mean, honestly, right now they've got
Scott
3 to 4
provides that value defensively, where it's like, okay, whatever. Like if you're gonna not be a great hitter, and he's been like a fine hitter. If you look at his numbers throughout the season, it's like it's not Jordan Walker, who's not providing value defensively, and he's also not providing value offensively. He's like a better version of what Siani was when he was like good last year, or like not good, but like like when he was
when people
he
thought
had like
he
extremely high BABIP block and was just like everything was finding holes, and he was hitting like 230 and with 0 pop. Like Scott is a better version of that, I think. So. If you add a star to that, and like I'm not saying you replace Pajas with a star, like you can't really do that. Like if you replace Arenado's spot with like a star caliber player, I think that's a pretty good lineup. And your rotation this year was really the issue. Like if this was my lineup and I had like a decent rotation, I'd be comfortable buying at the trade deadline. The issue is you have 2 starters that are just like go back to Asia. Like that's how bad they are. Like that's where they came from, and they like would Eric Fetty even be good enough to play in NPB this year? Probably not. He would probably be worse than
he could pitch.
Well,
Trevor Bauer.
I take it back. There's another pitcher in NPB that would be worse. But
did you see that home run the other night?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Alaris Montero. Yeah.
Nuke. Cardinal legend.
I don't even know if Miles Michaelis and Eric Fetty could cut it at NPB anymore. Like that's how bad they are.
Miles Michaelis could cut it in NPB right now. He'd be fine.
Like
not
genuinely.
Great.
Oh boy.
Didn't Eric Fetty pitch in Korea anyway?
Yeah, he did, and he won the MVP there, which is funny. No, it's like genuinely so unplayably bad that I don't even think they could cut it in those foreign leagues that they came from. And that's just how bad it's been. Like, I don't know what you want. It's like
The chat's so good.
If you had Sonny Gray, Matthew Liberatore, and 3 Andre Palantes, honestly, that's like not terrible. But you have two guys that are just so bad.
It is not good enough though. Like the Cardinals don't have a starter with an ERA under 4 right now. I know that Sonny Gray's FIP is under 3 still, but like we're not allowed to use the FIP argument with Michaelis, so I'm not going to use it with Sonny Gray. Like, yeah,
what FIP argument? It's a bad FIP for him.
No, I know. In the past, though, we've been like, "Ooh, Michaelis' FIP is way under his ERA."
Wow, it was way under his ERA to be like, "Oh, I guess he could be a passable starter." Not like under 3.287. Like that's a big discrepancy in a positive way.
He's got a 4.04 ERA right now, and even
I know. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying like let's not act like Sonny Gray's not a good starter now.
He's got some blow ups. I'm not saying he's a bad starter, but like, and I'm a Sonny Gray fan. You know this, okay? But I'm also saying that 36-year-old Sonny Gray next year cannot be your ace if you're going to be good.
Okay, but also literally like 3 or 4 episodes ago, we're talking about how Sonny Gray could be an all-star. So like,
I know that, but he's getting older.
2 starts have passed since then. So like, I'm not.
Didn't
I understand he's not
like 39 years old. Sonny Gray's only going to be like 36.
Okay. Don't say he's only going to be 36.
But I guess this is where I'm like, I feel like
not everyone ages like Verlander.
I know that.
We're putting the problems on the wrong guys. Like, well, Gray isn't good. Like, yeah, Gray's not good enough to carry a rotation on his own.
Yeah,
but most starters aren't good enough to carry a rotation. Like Cardinals need another guy up there.
Well, Skeens isn't even good enough to carry a rotation on his own.
Well, again, but even then, I feel like for Sandy, like if you got, let's say, I want to like throw out a name.
There's also not pitching
like
available.
But if you had another, let's just say, like you had Terry Skubal. Like I know they're not going to do it. But you had Terry Skubal and Sonny Gray's your 2, and then Liberatore's your 3. Like this all starts to fall into place way better. Sure. Like what's a name that's not Terry Skubal who's really good? Like not Logan Webb. I'm trying to think of someone who's good but not that good. But even like just keep thinking of the best guys.
But there's
good,
nobody,
but not that good.
I mean,
Framber Valdez. If you have Framber Valdez up there, it'd feel a whole lot better right now. It really
I don't know.
would.
Okay. Even if you like somehow, which there's no way you could add him, but even if you somehow added a Framber Valdez this offseason, like I don't think you would have a great rotation entering the year anyway. You still have big question marks.
No, fair, but I'm just saying like so don't like I'm not throwing that on Sonny Gray though. I'm not saying
no,
like,
I know. I'm not saying it's Sonny Gray's fault.
Of...
I'm saying that Sonny Gray is in a position he shouldn't be in. Like Sonny Gray, it's not his fault. Sonny Gray has pitched well. I'm not saying Sonny Gray is bad. I'm also saying he's not good enough to be your ace. Like I can say that Sonny Gray should not be your 1. Sonny Gray should be your 2. And on a really good team,
he could be a 1 as long as you have other good starters up there. I mean, like we saw a team win the World Series with Nathan Eovaldi and Jordan Montgomery as their number 1 and number 2.
Yeah, but Eovaldi goes nuts in October.
But it does. I get that, but they're still not 1s and 2s. Like, what if Sonny Gray goes off in the postseason? Like we see him pitch like 2 starts ever in the postseason.
Yeah, that's true.
But what would happen if you like next year you go in with a healthy rotation of Gray as your 1, and then like Liberatore is your 3, McGreevy is your 4, and Palante is your 5, and you go out and you like sign a younger version of Sonny Gray?
I mean, I don't know. First off, I just don't know who that guy is, and I don't know if that's even going to be available. And if
like
it is
someone like
it's going to be
slightly
really
worse,
expensive.
but like younger than Sonny Gray. Like, what if you got?
That player is expensive, and I don't think that player is available.
Okay, but like, what if for the Mariners right now, like Bryce Miller has not been that good this year, but I still think he's a really intriguing arm. Where like you use Nootbaar and a couple other pieces, and you go get Bryce Miller, and you see what happens. Like,
yeah, but I don't think seeing what happens like fixes your pitching issues.
I mean, if he's what he was the year before, it really does.
Yeah, well, it does, but I don't know. I'm not high on Bryce Miller. Like,
but I'm just saying, like a name like that, or like Taj Bradley to an extent. Like, I mean, he's still 22 years old, and like I think there are ways that Heim could get creative. Like, again, that's what I'm trying to I'm trying to branch my brain out a little bit more, where like sometimes we could make up these trades or potential free agent signings, and like everyone's like, there's no way the Cardinals ever do that. We're like, well, they could, but it's like, but they're right, they're not going to do it. I don't know what Heim's capable of. And then also too, like someone pointed out earlier, like the Cardinals can't contend to be where is it? It was Mason Windu. I remember he put in here something about like their highest paid players aren't performing. Yeah, like
that's true.
Like at some point, like, well, yeah, Contreras and Gray doesn't need to be a little better, but also like they are spending like 140 on payroll this year with Michaelis coming out the books, Matt's coming out the books. You might be moving Nootbaar's arbitration salary. Like if the DeWitts put money into this, I'm not saying more money than they used to, but even close to approximating what they've done before. 40, 50, 60 million dollars to spend on stuff, which I don't think they'll do that much, but like they have the budget room because they're not paying, none of their core guys are their highest paid guys. So yeah, you want to do some extensions, you got a budget for arbitration. And also again, I'm confident saying it that I think JJ Weatherholt's gonna be a core guy and someone that's gonna be a really impact player and not just like a league average hitter, but like a dynamic player for you. Again, sure, we shouldn't necessarily say he's going to be a superstar or even totally a star yet, but like I think that's going to be something that helps raise the ships a little bit on this team. Because right now, you can make an argument there's 4 defensive first players in the lineup on a given day. When you've got Nato in there, Pages in there, Scott in there, Wynn in there, it's basically 4 glove first guys with a lineup that doesn't have any stars in it unless Ivan Herrera is on. Brendan Donovan's like really good, but not a star. Like that lineup's not good enough. But you put JJ in one over one of those guys, you potentially add a different really good bat in there. Development
and like
continues
guys
to happen.
Wynn could get better. Like I expect Wynn to get better at the plate. We've seen flashes. I expect as his career continues, like he's a guy you should lock in. He's a great defender. The floor is there. He's a good runner. He's got the best arm in baseball. Like, yeah, that's a guy that you reasonably expect to turn into a better hitter over time as he matures and figures out, like, it's hard to play big league baseball. Like I'm not trying to shortchange anybody there. But yeah, I don't know. I just like, I have a sour taste in my mouth from this team this year. I'm disappointed. And it's just, again, it's like, I am very skeptical. And I know we're getting a new staff in, but it's hard for me to not remain skeptical because ownership's still the same. And the way they approach spending in the offseason, I expect to be the same. Also, like I only trusted the Mozeliak regime so much until a few years ago because they did have a great track record. Like how many guys did they turn from nothing into like, hey, that's a solid ball player. We expected guys to come up and be all right. Like, do you remember Tommy Pham when he came up and was like him in 2017? Like Pham was awesome for the Cardinals. I think he got MVP votes once for the Cardinals. Aledmus Diaz was an all-star for the Cardinals. Like they consistently brought guys up who turned into like studs and actually did their job. It felt like there were always 5 or 6 relievers who it's like, hey, this guy is going to be passable in your bullpen. And like, no one's ever heard his name and he's going to make it work. And we're going to cobble this together. Like it was a hallmark of Cardinals teams in the 2010s to have solid bullpens of no names. The only guys that sucked were the guys they paid big money to, like Andrew Miller and Brett Cecil. It was just expected. I mean, like Grichuk. Was Grichuk a big prospect? Was Piscotty a big prospect? Like these were guys that the Cardinals got value.
I think
Grichuk was drafted before Mike Trout, so
I know. Yeah, and Piscotty's a first round pick too.
Prospect when he was.
Yeah, I mean, I think
he was involved in a trade.
Guys, but
the Cardinals nabbed him in a trade, right?
Yeah, from the Angels.
Yeah,
they got him in the Peter Borges trade. But I mean, both are first round picks. They have pedigree.
Some pedigree, but not like Jordan Walker, where you're a number 1 prospect at one point.
Yeah. But I guess, I mean, so then I can make the flip argument where it's like, sure, like at one point they had track record, which means you trust them. But now it's like, well, now we're coming out of a regime that has a track record of ruining things. So it's like,
sure,
it can get worse. It's true. But I'm like, hey, at least there's change where I have the optimism that it could be different because it isn't the same people trying a broken method over and over again. It's, hey, it's a new, and also again, we're seeing the glimpses of it in the minor league level. And it's not just like Joe Schmo over here who got promoted from within or a guy we don't know anything about. It's like guys who come from organizations with great track records of doing this kind of stuff. And now their job is implemented. It doesn't mean it works, right? Like, people poach from the Rays all the time. Like Peter Benix, I guess being the GM of the Marlins, I don't know how to grade that because it's like the weirdest situation in the world.
I think he's done a lot of good stuff there. I'll be honest. I think he's
true. So it's just like I'm cautiously optimistic, and we still have to see things happen. I totally like you're right. Like there is a world where JJ is not good, and like there's a world where Leon Doyle's elbow falls off, and it's just really like he can't pitch, and that like Donovan this is his career year and it's never gets better from here. And that there is a world maybe where the DeWitts decide, hey, we are going Rays here and we're not going to have that low of a payroll, but we're also never going to have payroll like we used to. Like there is worlds where they do that. I'm just more optimistic I think they're seeing the crap that's happened here. And I think that they want to be a market that they have a good team. And they're never, ever, ever going to spend like the Dodgers and the Yankees. but can they spend more? I think they will. And the beauty of it is that if you're doing everything on the edges right and spending, then you can contend with those teams when what they were doing before is they were spending, but they weren't doing the things on the edges with player development right. And so it all crumbled down eventually because there was nothing coming up from within to sustain it when they were patching holes all the time. Now I think there's potentially changing. And then also, like, who knows what happens with this lockout and CBA if they add in a salary cap. I think that actually is a huge advantage for the Cardinals. I think they're one of the teams that gets penalized the most by not having a salary cap compared to the Dodgers and Mets and all that, because like the Rays and A's are never going to spend anyway, so it doesn't matter. But the Cardinals and the Cubs and the Red Sox and these teams used to spend and used to be up there with some of those teams. They used to carry top 7, 8 payrolls. And now, like, the gap between 1 and 5, I think right now, is as much as the Cardinals spent in 2004. It's like 80 million. Like, their total payroll from 2024 is the gap between the Dodgers and like the 3rd or 4th payroll in all baseball right now. Like, the game has the economics of the game completely different. And so I think the DeWitts are probably behind the scenes right now being like salary cap.
Oh,
like all owners are, but like it would really help the situation. And even if it doesn't, again, I have confidence that in this flawed system, the Cardinals can compete better with a Bloom-led regime. But again, there's also a world where 5 years from now, we're hopping on a podcast being like, man, those Red Sox fans are right about Bloom. Like, who knows? But that's why we watch it. And
I hope not.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, I think Red Sox evaluations of Bloom, I think, are so funny because it's like all these guys that they're enjoying now that are playing great baseball, like, those are Bloom products.
Yeah.
And they're just mad that he traded somebody.
How is the Marlins payroll lower than what the Cardinals was in 2004? Like, with inflation. That's insane. Insane.
Because it's terrible organization.
So
and they don't care. They don't care to win. But I don't know. I mean, I was looking at something the other day. It's like there has not been a team to win the World Series in the last 15 years that hasn't had a qualified hitter with an OPS above 900. And of the 15 in the last 15 years, like 12 of them have had 2. I mean, you have to have star power right now. Maybe, I mean, it's possible. Like it happens rarely and it hasn't happened lately. That doesn't mean it's not possible. Like the Rays went really far in 2020. But that was also a weird season, shortened season. Like, who knows what we can take from that? But I mean, Ivan Herrera is going to be really good. Like, I'm a big believer in Ivan Herrera's bat. I also think that, like, I'm not going to project that he has a 900 OPS next year. Like, I'm not going to project that he has an 875. I think if Ivan Herrera next year is an 850 guy who's, 140 bat, like, that's super valuable. And that's a huge win for the Cardinals. But that's not the star you need. And so I just am at this point where I'm like, I don't know how you get it. I don't know.
Well,
I've been thinking about it a lot. The Blues have the same thing.
Right?
They can't figure out how to develop a star either. But I don't know. I don't know how you get it.
But again, I don't think anyone's arguing that they have that guy right now. They could have that guy in JJ. They could have that guy in Ivan, but no one can say it right now. And even if those guys are stars, they probably have to go outside the organization and add at least one at some point. And to be fair, the Cardinals since 2000 have done that. They went out and got Mark McGwire, Jim Edmonds, Scott Rowland, Goldschmidt, Arenado, Matt Holliday.
Yeah.
Like, they got Giancarlo Stanton, even though he said no. They got Marcell Ozuna. They got Jason Hayward. So they, like, there's a lot of organizations that you could say maybe they've traded for 2 of those guys in the last 20 years, 3 of those guys. Like, they've proved that when they're ready to supplement, they will. And again, that's what Bloom's job is right now. See, can you develop stars? Because somebody got to develop something. You can't always just develop supplemental guys.
So many of those trades are either
Larry Walker.
They're either so far back where the league doesn't work that way anymore. Like, I don't know. I don't know if we can use the roll-in trade as precedent. But like,
we can. Like, it was like a guy who got mad that was in the last year of his contract, and they traded him, and the Cardinals signed him instead. Like, that happens all the time.
Like the Goldie and Arenado trades just like fell into their laps. Like, I just don't. That's not going to happen again. Like, I don't think
the Giants gave up a pack of peanuts for Devers.
Yeah.
So
and also like the Cardinals position right now is like if there's the equivalent of an outfielder version of that right now, which I don't know who that is, but like they might be in the market for it because they have the payroll flexibility to absorb that. And again, we have to be the first ones to critique them if they say no to doing it. Like, again, I was critiquing them for not even entertaining Devers. Like, it wasn't that they didn't get the deal done. It's the fact that they were like, there's no shot we should do that. I'm like, you don't have a star, so you can't be picky about it right now. Like, that was my stance. Is like, You don't know when the next one's be available, and I hope in the next 2 to 3 years there is one. But guess what? There might be 4 other teams in the same spot as you who are like, well, we also need a star, so like we're gonna compete for it too. But
yeah,
whatever, we'll see. It's not. They're definitely not in like prime position right now. I just see the path forward, but yeah, it could slide back even further, and that's
I just hope it doesn't
scary.
slide back further. Yeah, I just am worried, and like I don't know, recent developments with Quinn and JJ and Takoa's injury history. Like Takoa has been good this year. Excited about that. There was a little hiccup mid-season, but it's largely been very good. But like, yeah, I think I'm a little less confident in the pitching stable than I was coming into the year, which I think is one final disappointment so far this year. But at the lower levels, it's been great. You know, Ishan Henderson's been awesome. Chenwei Lin's been awesome. So maybe that's not totally fair, but I don't know. I'm nervous going forward, I guess, is the best way to put it. Like, I think I am less optimistic about the team now and in the future than I was early in the season.
Yeah, so we'll see. That's why I really wanted to ask that question, because I was like, I feel like we're going to be there's a lot of ways to view this right now. How the season's gone. And again, there is still 2 months left to go. We'll see how we feel about the club. Even if you go in the chat right now, there's some people who are like, hey, being too down on them. Like, come on, like, aren't you following the team? Don't you like the team? There's others who are like, man, like, burn it down. It's even worse than we thought. There's people in the middle. Like, we'll see. Actually, I agree that Nashville.
That's terrifying. That would be so bad.
Not great.
That'd be really bad for us.
So we'll see. I do think the biggest blessing in the world that could potentially happen, and maybe I'm not thinking about the ramifications enough, but I think if the MLB can get a salary cap, that would be heaven for the DeWitt family. And it's not that we're defending that they're not spending and saying they shouldn't. Like, again, I'm never going to say they should spend like the Dodgers. And I like Bernie says all the time, it's not about the payroll. It really isn't. Like, they've done enough other stuff wrong that doesn't matter how much they spend. But there is a point where they could get all these pieces together, and if the DeWitts aren't willing to spend that extra oomph to put it over the top, then they'll always be short of things. I think a salary cap would help with that. But also it levels the playing field for all 30 teams. So in theory, like, now you're giving the Guardians more ammunition because their ownership has to spend, and the Rays more ammunition because their ownership has to spend. But we'll see.
I think salary cap would be good for
I think it benefits the mid-market teams, because I'm sure there'll be a floor. So I'm sure there's some teams that still won't spend what they should. But at that point too, it's like, well, the Cardinals don't have to spend $300 million to get up to. They don't have to spend. At that point, I don't think an $800 million contract or a $600 million contract exists in that market. Like, I think,
but if we get a salary cap, we're going to lose a year of baseball, and so
I don't want that to happen. So
what's going to happen to guys like Juan Soto and Shohei Ohtani with the salary
grandfathered in? Probably
have to trade them.
Well, I wonder how they do it. Like, do they like start the salary cap like a little bit above what the Dodgers are already spending and then just lower it over time? Like, how do you
the MLBPA would never agree to a scenario in which the cap gets lower. Like, it's I don't know.
Well, I guess you could just keep it where it is for a while, knowing that inflation will help with it. But I just don't know how, because it's so out of whack right now. Like, the Dodgers so outspend other teams that, like, you're going to have, like, they're going to be in a weird spot. But it'd be kind of weird to penalize them for doing what teams should have done and spend. So that'll be we'll have like 90 episodes of a podcast to talk about the lockout, because that's how long the lockout will go. So we can save our lockout content for that. But
yeah, let's do that.
Oh gosh. Anyways, any other random things? We've gone an hour 12. So, but
I mean, I got one more. Maybe we should address it in a future episode. But I just wonder, like, what's the outlook for Ali Marmol from here?
Yeah, let's do that soon.
I think that should just be its own episode.
It's gotta be
I don't want to talk about it.
I know.
It is interesting. So, well, plenty of storylines to talk about. Again, this Rockies series could change things for how the Cardinals view themselves, but shouldn't, but we'll see. Again, deadline's 11 days away, so potentially a lot of action going on. And then
do you think Mo goes back to the Rockies and gets a big retirement gift like Albert Pujols with like the Dodgers or the Angels or whatever
when they're there?
Do you think that would happen? Or like when Adam Wainwright went back to the Braves?
I don't know. Maybe. Be funny.
I don't know what they'll do.
Oh, man. So.
They give him Austin Gomber back.
We heard you guys need some pitching.
Park adjusted might be better than Eric Fetty. I don't know.
Brutal.
Probably is. It definitely looks better. The eye test is definitely better.
Yeah. Oh, well. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. As always, been a fun episode, fun chat. Again, you guys made us laugh many times, and there's just fun
Some
conversation
good stuff
going in there.
Yeah.
If you're listening on audio, we always appreciate that as well. Like and subscribe, rate the show if you're on audio and stuff as well. Helps out a ton. Comment if you're watching later. Let us know your thoughts on things. We'll be back as always. We're live as always. I don't know if the Cardinals are alive, but we are. So appreciate all the support as always. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Fetty.
Thanks, Mo.
Thanks.